I don't know what the fuck that means.
You don't know what double IPA means?
No.
I don't either off the top of my head.
It's called Road to Ruin.
Road to Ruin.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
0.95. Pretty strong.
Jesus. I'm drinking Sam Adams Winter Lager.
I've never liked their winter lager. It's the only one I don't like.
Yeah, the winter's good. I don't like their summer lager, but I also have a winter white ale here if I get through the summer, the winter lager.
I like the summer one because it tastes very similar to Blue Moon.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Blue Moon. Blue Moon's okay. Blue Moon's not super bad. I prefer like Coronas in the summer.
Something a little lighter.
Yeah. In the summertime, it's always Corona, Modelo,
Dude, when I was in high school,
Chiladas.
When I was in high school, Coronas were my go-to beers. Corona with the lime, shake it up.
Corona with the lime. Yep.
Like, oh man, that was so my go-to beer when I was in high school.
It's my go-to beer in the summer. Anytime the temperature's over 70 degrees, it's my go-to beer.
Did you buy it during COVID when it was like dirt cheap because nobody wanted to buy it?
Yep. I also got I got a Hawaiian shirt that's got the Corona logos all over it, so I could wear it during the coronavirus pandemic.
It's fucking funny, dude.
So yeah, welcome back, everybody. Another episode of Tales, Trail of Taverns. I started recording when you were talking about double IPAs.
Oh, okay.
So
cool.
We're just getting into it. But
if anybody knows what a double IPA is, please leave it in the comments section.
Yeah, we'd like to know for the next episode.
Yes.
Yeah, so before we get started on this one, Stranger Things, I saw the first 4 episodes of season 5.
Fuck yeah.
So we can finally talk about that. And we got a little debate going on or trying to decide what characters are going to die by the end of the season.
Well, first off, folks,
because it's the last season, right?
It's the last season. They're not going to make any more episodes.
That's it. They're done. Stranger Things is done.
So main characters' deaths are like, everything's on the table. This is like Breaking Bad. Remember like the last episode, Walt dies?
Yeah. Towards the end. Yep. Yeah. Towards the end, everybody starts getting killed here and there.
So it's like, I've already told Joe, I think Steve Harrington's gonna bite it. He'll probably trying to save Nancy. I think Hopper might go.
Hopper's a good contender for being
and then
done.
Wouldn't be shocked if Will died.
That would be upsetting, and that would definitely end the show, right?
Either Will or Dustin.
You don't think 11? That would end the show.
I think people would burn fucking the Netflix headquarters down if they killed 11.
She's gonna live happily ever after.
If she doesn't have that happily ever after with fucking Mike, like, people will lose their minds.
Yeah, I think they will. But it's all right, because it's the end of the show, right?
I know, man, but like, 11? Come on, man. Like, she is the show.
She is the show, so.
What'd you think about the cameo with Linda Hamilton?
Yeah, that was really good. I was not expecting her to be in there coming back from
She does not act much at all anymore.
When was I can't even think of the last time she was in anything. She's Sarah Connor, right?
Oh yeah. She married James Cameron. She started dating James on the set of Terminator 2. They were married for like 8 years. And then he ended up hooking up with some broad from Titanic, right? They ended up getting a divorce in 99, and she got like $15 million in the divorce.
Yeah, so what do you need to work for?
Exactly. So like, she's been very selective. She acted in one of the Terminators that came out. I think it was like 2019, where they brought like Arnold back.
Yeah. I remember.
I never saw it. I heard it was the shits. I heard it wasn't that good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw that one.
I've only seen 3 of them. I saw the first 2 that were the James Cameron one. And then I saw the third one when they had like the girl as the villain.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like, after that, I dropped off with the franchise. I was like, yeah, I can't. Like, they're going to, like, because Terminator 2 is one of my favorite fucking movies of all time.
Terminator 2 is an awesome movie. You try to keep trying to get my son to watch it, but he doesn't want. He thinks it's too scary. So
My daughter thinks it's like a nerd movie, dude. I'm like, it's one of the greatest fucking action movies of all time.
seriously,
Like, what are you talking about?
yeah.
It's not nerd at all because, like, my daughter's not into sci-fi at all.
Oh, well, we got to change that. That's the problem.
You're missing out on literally one of the greatest action fucking movies of all time.
Yeah, right. That's funny. Yeah, got to fix that, man.
Yeah, in time.
Yeah, get around to it. Yeah. So, anything else before we jump into this episode? I got a good one for everybody.
No, I think we've shot the shit and we're ready to get in the trenches. Let's go.
Yeah. So, all right. So this episode, it kind of goes off of the whole Montauk Project thing because of the fact that I put out a post on TikTok that had to do with Camp Hero, Montauk, and it alluded to like the Stranger Things and astral projection, time travel, all the stuff that they were supposedly doing in the Montauk Project, which is where Stranger Things, the idea for Stranger Things come from, you know. Yeah. Most of the people know that Stranger Things was originally called Montauk and it was based on the ideas of this Montauk experiment, which some people think, you know, may or may not be real or not real. It may be a government project that was covered up. You know, nobody really knows.
Man, the whole Plum Island thing fucking perplexes me.
That's a big one too. Yeah. So from this TikTok that I put out there, that's gained a lot of traction. People started commenting on it, and a lot of people kept talking about something called the GATE program. And so we're going to talk about it because the GATE program is a legitimate program in the United States in the school system. It's the Gifted and Talented Education Program. And so what's interesting about it, what I found interesting is because there's a legitimate GATE program, and then there's a whole bunch of stuff that people talk about it that doesn't exactly jive with a gifted education program. You know what I mean?
It's probably like a recruitment thing for the CIA.
And some people think that is. Yeah, I'm going to... No, so seriously, yeah, we're going to get into it. But first thing I want to do is I want to go over...
That doesn't shock me at all.
No, it's... And this is how fun is our government when something like a recruitment for the CIA starts in grade school and we're like, yeah, that's accurate.
That's not, and they're like, yep, that kid's going to be an agent. Oh, shit. I digress. That's funny.
Right. So when we talk about American education, we often focus on helping struggling students, improving standards, or closing achievement gaps. But there's another, sometimes overlooked part of our school systems, one designed to challenge students who learn faster, grasp concepts more quickly, or show uncommon creativity. This is the world of GATE. The GATE GATE, it's an acronym for the Gifted and Talented Education Program. So to understand how GATE developed, because this is, like I said, this is an actual program in the U.S. school systems, we have to travel back long before the program had a name. So the early foundations, even in the early 1800s, a few educators recognized that children learned at different speeds. Schools occasionally put advanced students in separate reading groups or moved them ahead of grade, but there was no structured system, and certainly no national push to support gifted learners. By the early 1900s, psychologist Lewis Terman, famous for creating the Stanford Binet IQ test, began studying genius-level children. His work reinforced the idea that gifted kids needed different academic challenges. Still, support was scattered, often limited to elite private schools or experimental classrooms. And this is you've probably seen this throughout your education and with your kids, is like some kids are smarter, some kids learn faster, some kids don't.
Fuck yeah, bro.
You know what I mean? And the public education system is set up to teach the bulk of children. I
don't know what your high school was like, Joe, but like where I went to high school, right? Like they had 4 levels. Level 9 was literally like 10 or 15 kids, and they were the super smartest kids in the school. Yeah. Like literally. Level 1 was really smart kids. And then if you were level 2 or 3, you got to choose. Like level 2 was college prep.
Yeah.
And level 3 was like it was more vocationally based, and it was kind of like the burnouts and the stoners.
Yeah.
I started off in level 2 in 9th grade, and I'm like, fuck, this is really hard. And then so like my parents didn't know anything. So like in 10th grade I picked all level 3. and I got A's and B's in like the dumb kid classes. But like my parents were like, "Oh, he's got A's and B's." I actually put myself in like the dumb kid classes.
Oh, that's funny.
I was sick of killing myself to get a C. So yeah, I did that shit.
I don't remember that many levels. It was definitely like there was a regular level for the bulk of the students. There was the college prep, and then there was the honors. So I was
honors would have been like the really smart.
Right. And I did not take honors courses. I was like, no, CP's fine. I'm not that smart. I do not want to struggle that much. I do not want to do homework at home. I want to do homework, in homeroom before school started, or at the end of the class before the class that the homework was due.
Well, I did all my homework on the bus.
Probably could have done that too. I just didn't want to take my stuff out while I was on the bus.
Because I was like, as soon as I get home, my dad's like, "Are your homework done?" Yep. I'm like, all right, I'm going to play fucking flag football or whatever the fuck I wanted to do.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I do remember having to go home and do homework first if I didn't have it done. Or a lot of times in high school later on, I would just do it in the morning. Like I would have a free class. Do that.
That was awesome when you had study hall first thing in the morning.
Yep. You do all your homework right there.
Bingo.
Okay. So a Sputnik wake-up call, 1957, 1960s. So when the Soviet Union launched Sputnik in 1957, the United States faced a harsh reality. America was falling behind in science and technology. The public demanded answers, and the government responded with a national education overhaul. It's weird because I'm pretty sure in the 1940s and 50s, we had all the German scientists from World War II that was creating everything for us. I don't know how we were falling behind.
That's cool. Another episode of itself.
That is a whole other thing that we get into.
Yeah.
Another rabbit hole.
For shits and giggles, if you want to just go on YouTube and put on like Nazi NASA experiment, just do that.
I think we talked about that when we talked about Roswell and all the ships and the scientists that came over after World War II and the stuff that they were creating or working on.
Let's just say there was a lot of people with German heritage
in the United States. Yep.
Shit.
Yeah. One major outcome was the National Defense Education Act of 1958, which poured money into the advanced math and science programs. Although not yet called GATE, this era marked the beginning of widespread attention to high-ability students. Schools created advanced courses, honor tracks, and experimental enrichment activities, hoping to cultivate the next generation of scientists and innovators. This is the beginning of the GATE program. The birth of the modern GATE program. By the 1970s, educators realized something important. Excellence in education wasn't just about beating the Soviets. Gifted students existed in every district, regardless of background.
I'm just going to mention the Cold War about this topic. Isn't it funny how a lot of these projects were spawned because of the Cold War?
I mean, when we were in a technological race and a space race with these other countries, Yeah.
I'm just saying, the Cold War brought on so many fucking programs into the country, dude.
I mean, there were leaps and bounds in technology in those decades, and everything was based on the fact of we need to get there faster than the Soviets or faster than communist Germany or whoever was the enemy at the time.
It's just wacky how many things spawned from the Cold War.
I mean, seems like wars drive innovation. Every generation.
It really does.
Yeah. You want to be the smartest, the fastest, the most powerful, the most destructive when it comes to who wins and who writes history when the war's over,
True story.
Yeah. Gifted students existed in every district, regardless of background, and they deserved individualized support. In 1972, the federal government released a landmark document, the Marland Report. The Marland Report. It looks... I'm reading this off of Windows, right? And it says the Marland Report, and I almost read it as the Montauk Project. It just looks just like it. The document called the Marland Report. This report officially defined gifted and talented students as those who show high performance in areas such as intellectual and academic ability, creative or artistic talent, leadership capacity, specific subject areas. The report also emphasized something we now recognize as a major truth. Gifted students are at risk of underachieving if their needs aren't met. So smart kids aren't challenged intellectually, they're not going to grow, right? We kind of know this. We know this is something in all aspects. If you're athletic and you're not challenged, you're going to be lazy. It's just,
Yeah.
If you're smart and you're not challenged, you're going to act dumb or you're going to be dumb. You're not going to get the learning that you need. So
You'll be bored.
you'll
Yeah.
be bored, and you'll find some other way to cultivate, to spark your interests. And that's where you get guys building things like the Silk Road, like we talked about last week. Building things on the dark web.
Don't be that guy.
You don't want to be that guy. You don't want to get caught. Following the Marland Report, states began developing official programs. Some called them gifted programs, others advanced learner programs, but many eventually adopted the name GATE, Gifted and Talented Education. By the 1980s, GATE programs had taken the shape we still recognize today. So these programs are still going on today. Like I said, this is a no-shit government program for education. Pull out classes, that's got to mean something else. I'm reading this as pull out classes. I'm going to move on from that. Advanced or accelerated curriculum, enrichment activities, special after-school programs, identification through testing, and teacher recommendations. As GATE grew, so did the debates surrounding it. So critics argued that programs favored wealthier students, those with more academic support at home, and students who performed well on traditional tests. Excuse me. I'm on my second beer here, so you're going to have to excuse me.
Man, I'm going to have to catch up to you.
Advocates countered that gifted students are found in every demographic group and that failure to support them could lead to boredom, disengagement, and wasteful potential. That's true.
It's true.
During the 90s, many schools refined their identification processes. Educators began using multiple measures, portfolios, creativity assessments, teacher nominations, and nonverbal tests, hoping to make the system fairer and more inclusive. By the 2000s, states like California, Texas, and Florida had some of the most robust GATE frameworks, while other states still struggle with funding or unclear guidelines. In recent years, it has continued to transform. Instead of simply identifying smart kids, the focus has expanded in nurturing different kinds of intelligence: creative problem solving, innovation and design, project-based learning, leadership development, social and emotional support. Many districts now use cluster grouping, advanced placement, or magnet programs instead of traditional pull-out GATE classrooms, and the conversation around equity has become central, ensuring that gifted programs don't unintentionally exclude students of color, English learners, or those from low-income families. Some schools have even transitioned from GATE to broader advanced learning pathways, but the mission is still the same. Challenge the students who need more, inspire them, push them, and show them what they can become. So that is the official GATE program history.
Is that at a .gov website or .edu?
No, that's ChatGPT writing a history of the GATE program.
Okay.
Based on what it finds. And so from there, I'm going to get into a couple different So these are I've got 3 articles here that I found about the GATE program, and then we're going to get into the comment section from my TikTok post. That was the most intriguing thing that I've ever seen. It really was. Like, it just goes like all these people, and this is just random people talking, and they're all saying the same thing. They're all bouncing ideas off each other. They're like, oh my God, I remember this. It's wild.
Bro, I love conspiracy theories, so please keep going.
Okay. So this first one comes from a website called mysterylores.com. The GATE program, gifted program or mind control, unraveling student memories.
I wonder if Richard Kuklinski was part of this.
Who's that?
The Unabomber.
Maybe.
He graduated high school when he was 15. He went to Harvard when he was 16.
Maybe he wasn't challenged enough. And that's why.
Apparently, like, he partaked in the Harvard LSD experiments.
No, see that.
And it really fucked him up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, because I've read the Unabomber manifesto.
Yeah.
And some of the things that he wrote that in the 70s. And some of the things he said was like, and I'm reading it in like 2022. I'm like, holy fuck, he's on the money about artificial intelligence. And he wrote this in the 70s.
Really?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So go on. But like, I'm just saying, like, I would not be shocked if Richard Kuklinski was in the GATE program.
We'd have to look into that. I don't know. There'd probably be not much for a record, or the record could be scrubbed for all we know, you know?
Yeah.
So a growing conversation.
He was extremely intelligent. Just one last thing. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I think I knew that. Okay, so mysterylores.com, gifted program. A growing conversation among people brings scrutiny to GATE, gifted and talented education, with many sharing unsettling experiences and claims of memory loss related to the program. Reports suggest possible behavior modification techniques, and even government involvement in its operations, igniting fears of a hidden agenda in educational systems. Context of concerns. Imagery of sealed rooms and strange tests fill the narratives around GATE. Recent posts across social media platforms and forums reveal that former participants often have hazy recollections of their time in GATE. One poster noted the disconcerting theme: "I wasn't in GATE myself, but I've seen so many videos and posts about people claiming memory loss around the program years. Disturbing experiences shared. Several comments paint a troubling picture. Memory loss. Multiple individuals expressed confusion over their participation, recalling vague incidents like tests in isolated rooms with no windows covered by brown paper. Bizarre testing procedures. Claims of unusual tasks, such as guessing numbers of candies in jars or completing abstract puzzles, hint at an unconventional methods used within the program." Now, this probably has nothing to do with it, but I do remember I want to say like around Christmas time or around different holidays, it was always like to guess how many candies are in the jar thing. And I'm pretty sure that was just a thing that the schools did just as a fun way to get people interested. But what if they were checking to see who was eligible for the GATE program? You know what I mean?
I remember that shit in elementary school.
See?
They put like a bunch of M&Ms in the jar, and they're like, guess how many M&Ms are in the fucking jar.
Yep, everybody had to put their answers in, slide in a piece of paper in there, and whoever got closest to it won a prize or something like that. But like, what do you think would have happened if somebody hit the nail on the head? You know what I mean? They'd be like, "Oh, these kids, let's bring them in."
Yeah, man, that's wacky. Right?
Adult presence. Many individuals reported being tested or instructed by unfamiliar adults, from recalling discomfort from the lack of familiar authority figures. There's a quote here: "I didn't recognize the adult in there. Can't remember if it was always the same one, but I didn't recognize her," from one former participant. Mixed reactions from ex-participants. While some report unsettling experiences, others have different memories. One commenter noted, "My GAT program was pretty normal. We just literally did schoolwork that was 2 or 3 grades higher." That's what I would imagine most of the people experience, right?
I guess. I mean, if you're gifted and you're extremely intelligent.
Right. Sentiments vary, with some recalling a structured learning environment free from oddities, contributing to ongoing debate over the program's intent. Now, that's not to say that, like, I'm going off the thing here, but like, if you've got a program that's in every school and you're looking at the smarter kids, like, if you were the CIA, let's just say, for example, and you wanted to find people who were psychic, kinetic, whatever type of abilities, had extra, had sixth sense abilities type stuff, like, wouldn't this be the program to pull people in from? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I mean, you've already got a established government program that takes kids out of their classroom, tests them in whatever way they want, away from teachers, away from parents. It's crazy. We're just all guinea pigs out here.
Well, it's funny you say that because I don't want to go too off topic here, but this is so fascinating. The kid who grew up up the street from me. His name was Edward Mishno, and he was in all level 9s. He was a super smart kid.
Yeah.
He was on the wrestling team with me. Like he straight out of high school went into the Air Force Academy.
Yeah.
And he totally fell off the fucking grid, bro. I can't even find him on Facebook or Instagram or anything.
Really?
He went into the Air Force Academy, and he's dude, I've tried to find this guy because he was a childhood friend, we used to play basketball and football and all, we used to, do kid shit together because he was a friend.
Yeah.
Can't fucking find. I don't know if he's got some high level job with the government now, or I don't know what the fuck happened to him.
I tried to find one of my best friends from high school a while ago. He just doesn't exist on social media. He's just not out there. I don't think it's like your friend. He wasn't super gifted and go in the Air Force or anything like that. He's still in the same hometown that we grew up in. And I've talked to people who have seen him, but he just doesn't go online. He has no social media footprint at all.
See, that's
a little different than what you're talking about. But
yeah, I mean, my buddy, he went into the Air Force Academy, and that was it, dude. I never heard from him again.
Yeah, that's interesting. Wonder if he became a special operative.
It wouldn't shock me. He was that fucking intelligent.
That's awesome. So, community reflections. Interestingly, many people reflected on their career path stemming from their GATE experiences, with some questioning if there's a correlation between GATE involvement and later professional success. Oh, here we go. This has something to do with that. One user wrote, I am trying to do some personal research on myself on this. If you were in GATE, what type of career have you gone on to do in your adult life? So some of the takeaways is vague recollections. Many describe their time in GATE as fuzzy, suggesting possible memory manipulation. Unusual testing. Common activities report include non-traditional tests and bizarre tasks, and contradictory experiences. Sentiments among those who participate range from concerns of manipulation to typical academic challenges. So there's all kinds of stuff that happens.
Bet this ties in with the Harvard LSD experiments.
Yeah,
It has to.
I guarantee.
You know what that was, right?
The Harvard LSD experience? No.
All right, I'll just give you the skinny real quick, 30 seconds. So
Yeah.
they took these kids from Harvard, right? This happened in the 50s and 60s, and they were like, "Hey, we got these paid experiment surveys, whatever. Are you interested? We'll pay you $200 to come sit down with us for a few hours." And what they did was they took the kids and they put them in an extremely hot room. Like the room was like fucking 90 degrees, right? And they'd be like, "Hey, you thirsty?" And they'd be like, "Yeah, I'm thirsty." So they're like, "You want a Coca-Cola?" And they're like, "Yeah." They'd give them a Coca-Cola that was spiked with LSD. And they didn't tell them that. So they gave them the fucking soda. They drank the soda. They fucking started tripping balls. And then they started fucking with these people like, "You think you're smart? You're not that fucking smart. You're this." Like they berated people and they like fucked with them and they were like, try to solve this equation, and like they couldn't, like they would try to solve it, but they couldn't because they were high on drugs. And like it was a real thing.
Jesus.
And it was like a program that they took really smart kids and tried to like mind fuck them and fuck with them.
Yeah.
Because they believed in the 50s and 60s that LSD was actually like a truth serum.
Well,
And they believed that they could use that on prisoners of war to try to interrogate people.
yeah. Well, isn't that what they used in MK Ultra too? For the mind control shit was LSD, right?
LSD. They believed it was a truth serum.
All the good drugs are created by the government. I don't know if you know this or not.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, what? It's basically LSD, right? Fucking morphine, heroin, X, all.
Bro, speaking of which, have you ever heard the Soviet Union national anthem?
No.
I've heard it a couple of times, bro. I gotta say, it's a pretty kick-ass fucking national anthem.
Is it?
You listen to it, you're like, whoa, like this is like fucking powerful.
Yeah.
Just for shits and gigs, bro. Just fucking when the podcast is done, YouTube fucking Russian Soviet Union national anthem.
All right, I'll check it out.
It's worth checking out. But yeah, all right, let's get back into it.
All right, so on to the next article. This one is in the New York Post, so this is a little more legit. This is in the Weird But True section in the New York Post. Adriana Diaz came out this year. It's called, "I was enrolled in gifted classes as a child. I now believe it was a CIA training program." That's the title of it. So it goes, "Mommy's Little Spy. Adults who were enrolled in the gifted and talented education program decades ago as children are now questioning if they were unknowingly being covertly trained by the CIA." That's fun. Anna Mills, known as Anna Mills XO23, helped renew interest in a previously floated conspiracy theory by posting several videos to social media, sharing the worksheets and assignments she was given when she was young, leaving many of her followers with questions. In one TikTok clip, Mills flipped through a binder of her classwork and showed off some of the assignments she was given as a child in the 90s. "The stuff I found in there, I'm like, what were you training us for?" Mill questioned in a TikTok video. Then, as now, students across the country who demonstrate high cognitive abilities and pass a series of tests are taught separate lessons which do not fall into the standard curriculum. Many of the worksheets Mills shared dealt with cracking codes, plotting graphs, as well as learning sign language, Morse code, and Russian. Nearly all the lessons were focused on creative problem solving. A surprising number mentioned aliens or Russian culture.
Sounds like something in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, right. So this has led to some to claim that the public school program was connected to the CIA's Gateway program. The federal program was developed in the 1980s to instruct and train people in the art of switching perceptual modes, the art of becoming more conscious of one's particular inner resources, inner abilities, and most of all, of one's inner guidance. It was used to explore the limitations of human consciousness using sound, meditation, and other techniques. So this is interesting, where it starts to connect the GATE program for the education system to to an actual CIA program called the Gateway program. Now, if you wanted like a little bit of almost confirmation that one is attached to the other one, that's pretty much a good place to start, right?
Sounds like it.
Yeah. The sound recordings used typically featured a series of nonverbal audio patterns hidden by sounds like crashing waves or wind blowing through the trees, similar to the audio entrance tests former GATE students claim to remember taking. Some of them were basic IQ tests, but many of them were the meditation type testing, where we had to listen to a woman's voice on an audio tape with big earphones, TikToker Rachel, known as Rachel the Dreamer, said in her video. Hills has continued to post videos sharing what she remembers from the lessons, as many of her viewers claim to have been in similar programs but not remember many details. Always this stuff with not remembering shit.
Which leads you to believe these people were possibly bugged.
And what's funny about that is there is some stuff that would lead you to think that when you start hearing people talk about this stuff. Some former members of the program commented on the videos, expressed suspicions as to why they struggle to maintain memories from these classes, with others suggesting their minds were altered. Why do most of us only faintly remember any of it? Someone questioned. We blocked that all out for decades until just now, another said. Why don't I remember a single thing except the building and entryway? Someone asks. While the theories continue to be floated and some declassified documents related to the programs have been offered as proof by internet sleuths, there is no evidence to suggest that public school GATE programs were tied to the CIA in any way.
I don't know. It smells kind of fishy to me.
It does. The whole thing smells fishy. This all starts out as like a...
If there's one thing I've learned, and Joe, you know as well as I do, because you've served in the military.
Yeah.
There's no real such thing as just coincidences.
There's really not. If there's smoke, there's fire, man.
Yep, 100%.
That's how the government operates, man.
Yeah.
And then that's why you have to kind of question like why they put out, when they put out TV shows, there's a big thing about like TV shows and movies prepare us for stuff that's going to happen later on. And then we're always like, okay, well, what's next? You know what I mean?
Do you remember that Netflix movie with Ethan Hawke and Julia Roberts that came out like 2-3 years ago, Leave the World Behind?
Oh, what was that one about?
Oh my God, dude. I can't even describe it, but it was pretty much like the end of the world. Like not the end of the world, but it was just like
the end of humanity or civilization or something like that?
Yeah, dude. Like they decided to like go to like a cabin. Like they were Julia Roberts and Ethan Hawke were a couple that lived in the city in New York, and she like decided to rent out like a nice like house in the sticks.
Yeah.
And then like all the internet dropped, like all the radio signals dropped, and like planes were like crashing because like there was no
connectivity or anything. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, dude. Like it's a wacky fucking movie when you watch it. Like you're like what are they trying? What message are they trying to get across in this movie?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like what are they trying to set us up for?
And you know what's the wackiest thing? You watch that movie. The executive producer of the movie was Barack Obama. I'm not even joking, dude. Like Barack Obama.
When you hear shit like this, like when I hear stuff like this, I'm like, okay, so we're all on board with the fact that we're in a simulation now, right? Like we all agree now that we're in the Matrix, right? Because there's too much of this being a coincidence anymore.
Yes.
But anyways, I digress. Again, we're gonna see more holes and more rabbit holes that we could go from here, from this one episode, that we could be here all week.
Yeah, we could, really.
But all right.
Leave the World Behind, though. That's a good one, man. Okay. You should watch it.
I'll look into it. So, okay, so this one, the last article I got here is huntdogman.com, where gifted classes in the 80s and 90s linked to a secret CIA program. In the 1980s and 1990s, many of the brightest students in the U.S. were enrolled in the Gifted and Talented Education Program, designed to foster advanced learning and critical thinking. Same thing. Decades later, some former participants are speculating whether the program had a hidden agenda. One woman who gained attention on social media for a post about the topic shared images of their old workbooks showing unexpected activities such as code breaking and learning Russian. So I think this is probably talking about the same one we were just talking about in the other article. These unusual exercises have fueled theories linking the GATE program to a classified CIA initiative called the Gateway, which reportedly explored the boundaries of human consciousness through methods like sound patterns and meditation. Again, pretty much the same stuff. A declassified CIA document describes nonverbal audio patterns concealed within natural sounds like waves and wind. This is a lot of the same stuff here. Audio recordings. They've got a worksheet here called A Strange Message, and it's so let me try to read this out for you real quick because this is interesting shit. It says so it's a strange message. It's got a decoding thing on there that's got the alphabet one way and the alphabet backwards, and I think you got to line the numbers up. And what you find in the thing is it says, fellow colonists, the mothership from Zorex landed on Earth last week, Earth time, in Peru. Oneness visited the Yucatan and Egypt before moving the ship to its present location and now awaits our gathering. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Let our minds reveal the ship's location. Our oneness will direct our way. Fear no human intervention. The ship is a fifth-dimensional model, invisible to normal Earth eyes. We may attend the gathering of minds in our Earth forms or through astral projection, those using non-human forms or assignments, and it's it's all covered up in the picture here. Something use astral powers, peace, oneness.
Jesus.
Like, what the fuck, man? There are no reports linking the CIA.
What do you do if you're like, you and your wife are normal working Joes, but like your kid's really gifted and they like, hey, what did you, cause it's like, I ask my daughter all the time, like, how was school? And it's like, oh, decoded this thing and found where the plane went. And
No,
it's like,
I decoded a message using Russian and sound waves, and I learned about the mothership that landed in the Yucatan, and we have to find it through astral projection to gather for the arrival. You're like,
I don't know what the fuck to say.
seriously. Nah, that doesn't sound like 4th grade, 5th grade math to me. What are you doing? What do you mean?
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah, something about we listened to a woman's voice on tape, and it felt like we were being guided into some kind of altered state. So it's all the same thing in the last article I read, so I'm going to skip the rest of this. But same stuff. Altered state, astral projection. Now, what I really wanted to get into was what people were writing on the comment section of this thing that I put out. So as I started reading through it, collectively, the commenters started talking about the GATE program, and something unexpected happened. People didn't just share memories of advanced classes or enrichment work. They shared eerily similar experiences, and not just one or two, but dozens of people on this thread sharing these experiences. And this isn't an article. This is one of my posts. You know what I mean? This is wild.
How many comments did it get?
It's close to 500 comments now. They're not all about the GATE program, but a fair amount of them are. Different states, different decades, same details. Commenters describe being pulled out of class, often alone, taken into small rooms with covered windows, thick paper, masking tape, silence. So a lot of the stuff that we've already seen in these other articles. Several people remembered frequency tests, headphones placed over the ears, being told to listen carefully, not just for sound but for sensations. Some were asked to identify tones, rhythms, or patterns. Others were told to call out shapes or symbols as they appear, sometimes flashes of light, sometimes cards laid face down. What I kept seeing was them saying, people, and I'll read some of the comments too. Like I'll read them verbatim here in a minute. More than one person remembered Zener cards, symbols used in classic ESP testing, circles, stars, wavy lines, guessing what card was next, and guessing again and again and again. That's sort of like what they were doing. You remember the first Ghostbusters movie?
Yes.
When he was doing that, he was holding the cards up and asking the kid to guess what card he was holding.
I remember that.
And then there's the pink drink. Okay, so this is another thing that came up over and over again in the comments. Multiple people who probably don't know each other described being handed a thick pink liquid and sometimes told to swallow it, sometimes told to just swish around their mouth. No explanation given, no follow-up, just drink it. So did it have LSD in it? I don't know. Logic tests with cards and puzzles where the rules weren't fully explained. You were just expected to figure it out to intuit the answer. Some commenters said they were separated from their peers for long stretches of time, that very little of it felt like learning. There's no math, no reading, no science, just weird testing. One person remembered being asked to meditate. Another recalled being told to focus on objects, to imagine moving them, and to picture things in their mind and describe what they saw. Several described people administering the tests as cold, detached, sometimes dressed formally, dark suits, briefcases, headphones pulled from foam-lined cases, no reassurance, no warmth, just observation. Then a surprising number of people connected these experiences to extremely vivid dreams in childhood. Flying dreams, leaving their bodies, being aware they were awake while dreaming, that sensation of lifting or falling or snapping back into themselves. Some didn't have the language for it until adulthood, until they saw movies like Insidious or heard terms like astral projection for the first time as adults. Others described lifelong sensitivity to sound, to frequencies, that certain tones triggered anxiety or discomfort that they couldn't explain. One person who was never formally in gifted classes still remembered hearing tests, flashcards, being asked to report seeing a red dot during sound exams. And even then it felt wrong, confusing, like things didn't add up. So this is another thing that I heard, that I read several times, is that people were asked to listen to something and then tell the instructor when they saw a red dot, which seems really weird thing to do.
That's bizarre.
Yeah. And many of them were saying the same thing. I always thought it was a dream. I thought I made it up. I never talked about it because it sounded crazy, until they heard someone else describe the exact same thing. So many people across decades recall the same imagery. One person said, I was in the GATE program. They tested me with frequency and patterns. They pulled me out of class and had me listen to frequencies and calling out shapes and patterns. They also pricked my finger to get my blood type.
Oh,
One of them was
what?
Right. Yeah.
What?
Getting your blood type.
And how old are these kids?
These are kids. They're talking about grade school. This one says, I was a GATE kid from the mid 1980s to early 90s. My parents knew because they were told it was because I had a higher IQ and needed classes to help. I would be in there multiple days a week, did the frequency test, drank the pink mess, was tested with my logic ability with the cards. I was separated from the others for much of the testing and much of my time. I was asked to think about things I wanted to move, needed and taught to meditate. Not a single minute in the gifted classes was spent actually learning. And folks, if you want to see all these comments, I pinned the I pinned the TikTok on the top of my TikTok page. So Tales, Trails, and Taverns. It's the one about Montauk. You scroll through the comments on it, you'll see all these different comments. I mean, these are spread out. There's some that talk about the GATE program. There's other ones that talk about other stuff. And obviously, Stranger Things, Montauk, Plum Island, all this crazy stuff. But you'll find some threads that have to do with the GATE program, and these people are just talking about this stuff, and it's absolutely nuts. This one says, okay, I see people think I'm crazy when I talk about it, but I was put in a mental institution when I was younger for bad behavior and mental illness, and I remember them putting things on my head and watching my brain waves while I was awake and asleep, and also remember them making me listen to different frequencies and asking how they made me feel. I called to try to get my documents from them since I had this awakening 2 years ago, and of course they discard records after 10 years. The next one says, oh my God, you just unlocked a whole ass memory for me. I was in the 5th grade. An old man with glasses always came and pulled me out of classes and did the same things with me until I got mad at him and he stopped coming and he was scared of me.
Jesus Christ.
This sounds like if 11 left whatever town that is that Stranger Things is in and found TikTok and started commenting about the stuff that she went through. This is the kind of shit you'd expect her to say.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy, man.
Right? Next one says, yes, I astral projected all the time when I was little, and I had no idea until I was 18 and watched the movie Insidious, and I was like, wait, I would do this. You get a weird tickle in your tummy when you're flying. You fell down that rabbit hole after that movie. And somebody else commented, yes, in astral travel, that I did not know it was that when I was in elementary school and middle school, where I knew I was awake, but tried to convince myself it was a dream. Crashing back into your body when you do not know what's going on is scary, especially at that age.
What the fuck? I keep thinking of like all the times 11 when she like puts the bandana over her eyes.
Yeah.
She's walking in like the black background with the water on the feet.
I think that's literally what they're trying to show is astral projection in that, like going into like traveling outside the body and the mind and going other places, connecting things. That's kind of what I think they're trying to show in that show when they do that. This one says, wait, I remember the hearing test and I remember flashcards. I remember always being pulled into a little room by myself all the time. That's what that was. So it's amazing that all these people have these memories and like they don't it kind of feels like a lot of these people who comment, it kind of feels like they didn't remember this until they were kind of prompted, you know? And that goes back to like the mind erasure thing or the memory loss, or, was it the drug use? Is it the pink drink stuff that people keep talking about? So this one, thick paper with masking tape covering the windows, weird testers often on black suits, no empathy or guidance, telepathy, telekinesis tests, wanting to see your body to check for physical fitness, nasty pink drink, sometimes swish, sometimes swallow, puzzles, codes, trying to stop falling objects, guess the cards, etc. Little direction given, that's only pieces. This is nuts, yeah. For me, it was first and second grade. Just like MK Ultra, one day they may come out about it, that there are many of us around the world who had the experiences from at least the 1970s forward. Some of us always remembered pieces and parts, but it may have seemed like a dream or too strange to be true. Some are just starting to remember. These are all recent comments on this post that I put up. This next one here, I had memories, but I also have very vivid dreams, always, and some that happen in real life. So until January last year, I knew certain sensory things triggered discomfort and memories for me. I wasn't sure if it was a dream or real until I saw an image of the briefcase with the headphones, and then it all started flooding back to me. The Zener cards, the Monroe Institute Gateway Experience meditations, being asked while doing a hearing test, quote unquote, to listen to sound and let them know when you see a red dot. So much more, but a lot more things make sense. Luckily, I was already seeing someone to help me with late diagnosed neurodivergent burnout, and they had heard of it, did not judge, and led me to the Telepathy Tapes podcast. There are a lot of things that are tracked and studied that the public is kept in the dark about. I'll have to look into that, the Telepathy Tapes podcast, see what that's about.
Yeah. Now that you mentioned it.
Oh, she's asking if everybody else had the red dot thing asked. Says it wasn't in gifted class or anything just like that. I just remember if things not making any sense, it would wonder about a lot of things. Like, how did they call from the moon, or how did we not fall off the earth if it's round, etc.? I don't know about that one. This last one says, I'm not sure. I remember sitting there and thinking it was crazy, but seeing the red dot and not wanting to tell them that I saw it. The whole thing felt weird. I do not feel that many of us have thoughts like you are describing, especially when we are younger and more likely to question things. So yeah, that's the rabbit hole with the gate program.
That's fucking crazy.
And it all started with this TikTok post that I put, and all these different comments started coming through, and they were just absolutely wild.
Yeah, and it's what's wacky though. It's like everybody's story kind of jive, which makes me like you said earlier, where the smoke there's fire. Like everybody's story is kind of jiving up with it.
Yeah, everybody's kind of in the same ballpark. Like the pink drink keeps coming through, astral projection keeps coming through.
The red dot thing.
The hearing test with the red dot. Let us know when you see the red dot. That kept coming through. And all these people are commenting on the post about Montauk and about the astral projection and stuff like that. So yeah, man, that's it. It's all pretty wild.
Sounds like it. I feel like I'm gonna go watch a bunch of YouTube videos now.
That'd be a good idea. I have to look into this shit.
Wow.
But
what's a good shit, man?
It's been pretty fun, and it was unexpected, dude. I was not like looking into this. I just, like I said, happened to come across it because it just like this post on TikTok just kept going. You know what I mean? Like every time I looked at TikTok, it was comments and comments and comments and comments, and I started reading them, and I'm like, holy shit, there's so much here about this thing called the gate program, and it just kept, and all the same things kept coming up, and people kept talking about how they had forgotten this stuff until they were older, until somebody else started talking about it, and then they started remembering it. It's so weird. Such a weird thing. Not only that, it's being an actual education program that people have done for decades in America, that makes it even stranger.
Weird, but like, don't you kind of remember like when you were in elementary school, they kind of did stuff where like you looked into you looked into a thing and it was like press the button every time you see like a different shape or whatever. Do you remember shit like that?
Not like that, no. I remember like drinking the fluoride, not drinking it, but swishing the fluoride every day. I remember like they had different tests. I think my stepmother thought I was had ADD or something. And I'm pretty
wild did all those things.
Pretty sure I have a certain level of dyslexia too. So I think I got tested for shit like that for a while. Like why I couldn't read well or why I didn't want to read.
Well, dude, I had glasses since the age of 8 years old.
Yeah.
So like I was constantly doing vision tests
Yeah.
when I was a little kid, and I did get tested a lot for ADD.
Yeah. I didn't get a lot of vision tests. My vision's good. I remember scoliosis tests all the time. All the damn
I
time.
remember that. Remember going in the nurse's office and you got to take your shirt off and touch your back, your toes.
Yep. They ran like a thing up your spine to check. Yeah. I remember a lot of weird tests.
The other one too was like they would check your head for lice.
Pretty often.
That has nothing to do with.
That's probably not part of a CIA program. That's probably just making sure that lice doesn't spread in the school. But is it just me, or is like every time somebody says something about lice, your head automatically itches?
It does.
Yeah, I think it's just a normal reaction to it.
My daughter, when she was going to school in New Bedford, they had a lice outbreak, and Reese got it. Oh yeah, I remember having to give her showers with Nix.
Yeah. Yep.
Killed lice.
Yep.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, I think my sisters got it when we were all in school. They were in a different school than me.
If you're a boy, it's simple. You just shave your fucking head. Like,
yeah, and that's what it was. Like I had long hair, but my hair was shaved on the sides and the back. You know what I mean? But I just had hair on the top, so they didn't really I don't think they bothered me.
But if you're a girl, you get lice. You know,
you got to do everything. You got to do all the stuff. You got to go through the whole rigmarole. Anyways, let's just wrap it up for tonight.
Yeah, that was a good one, man. You caught me off guard on that one. In a good way.
Caught me off guard. I was like, what am I going to do? Oh, holy shit. What is this? This is awesome.
Yeah, and it kind of like ties in with Stranger Things and shit.
It's not something that I've heard over and over again in other podcasts, you know?
No, but like, it's definitely intriguing.
Yeah. I mean, the sheer amount of people have gone through something similar stuff too makes it quite the coincidence.
You see, I will say this too. My brother's ex-wife remarried, and she had a kid like in her early 40s.
Yeah.
And he's got autism, but he's super smart, dude.
Right.
Like he's going into 6th grade next year.
Yeah.
And he's only 10. So it's like, yeah. So that like that made me think too, is like, because sometimes a lot of kids with autism, they may be like they lack in certain areas, but they're usually like super smart, like book smart. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So now I'm wondering, has this kid fucking next time I see him be like, hey, do you ever go fucking make you look at the dot?
They ever make you drink the pink liquid and listen for the red dot?
I might ask him that.
You might find out more than you're ready to hear, you know?
Yeah. And then that night I get a knock on the door and it's 2 men in black suits.
Sir, we're gonna have to escort you over to Plum Island, take you on the ferry over to the animal island.
What the fuck is going on that island?
It's an animal, what the hell is it? It's a biological research facility for animals.
Like a biosphere?
They used to test agricultural bioweapons, and supposedly they stopped.
The fact that they don't allow any civilians to.
Oh yeah, you can't get on there as a civilian. You can't get on Plum Island. What's crazy is like the ferry from Orient Point to New London goes right by the island, and you can see the facility along the north side of the island.
There's definitely still like a military presence on it.
Probably. There's like right next to the car ferry, right next to the ferry at Orient Express, there is a Plum Island ferry right there. And it's much smaller, and obviously it doesn't run a lot because it's just taking, Department of Homeland Security officials over there, and government, whoever's in the government is allowed to be there. But that again, that's a whole other rabbit hole, whole other episode to go into. But yeah, we're gonna wrap this one up for now. So thank you guys for listening. This has been a lot of fun. This one has been super fun, and I'm glad I dove into this one.
I'll tell you when we wrap up, but you should put the X-Files theme song.
This one deserves it, yeah. Government conspiracy thing.
I fucking loved that show. That was such a good show, dude.
I love the X-Files. Yeah, I should watch it again. It's super good. Yeah, so Thanks for listening, guys. As always, get out there, get out in the woods, get on the islands, get out to Montauk, get out to New York, get all over the place. Wherever you are, wherever you're going, get out there and find your spirits.